reading is very much important. There are a lot of stages in reading. If you know a concept, it's easy for you to understand. I believe a paper which actually talks about something advances. But if you're newbie, I would suggest look at some of the magazine articles. Also, as we start reading papers, we really learn from and emulate well-written papers. So we actually get to know the flow of the paper. So this will actually help us to understand, okay, this is how an article is written. Okay, this is the flow, how it is. And you can also highlight, you can look at, so this is how we actually learn from the experiences. Next slide. Right. So this one I would like to touch upon more, wherein once, as soon as, okay, some of you told you have written a paper, some of you, like you have raised the hand in the beginning. I believe the biggest question for anybody is, how much time does IEEE take in getting your paper published? How much time IEEE takes? Say, is it like 1 month, 1.5 months, or say 2 months, or more than that? Actually, in IEEE, before 3 months, a final answer will be there. Normally, ideal states. Okay. But most of the important times, because we really have to understand what is the process here, what is actually does. So it's not that if you submit an article today, tomorrow it will land into the hands of a researcher, reviewer, and the day after you will have an answer. Okay, yes or no, accept or reject or revise and submit. It's not that simple. It's actually a lengthy process. The author submits the article and it lands into the hands of the administration department within the journal, and the admin department staff members will look at 3 things: whether the article is within the scope of the journal. If it is within the scope of the journal, bingo, go to the next step. Next step is how much percentage, or what is the plagiarism percentage here? Is it say less, or is it more? And if it is more, what actually that percentage constitutes of? All these things are very important per se. So third thing is IEEE also maintains something called as PAL, that is prohibited authors list, wherein there are authors, unfortunately, they have indulged into some of the unethical aspects. So their name, we don't accept papers from them. So we also look at whether he's an author, his name is available in the database or not. But I really don't want to scare anybody here. IEEE per se encourages, I would say, publishing. We want people to publish, we want people to share their discoveries and their research, and we really want them to share in a proper manner. Okay. Secondly, the editor selects the peer reviews. So once all these 3 steps are carried out, which is like 1 week, editor takes normally around 1 week, because there'll be a lot of backlog as well. So he needs like a 1 week maximum to look at the paper, choose the reviewers. So he will send the articles to like 5 to 6 reviewers. The reviewers will then, we normally assign 4 weeks, but sometimes extend it to 6 weeks. So in total it is 6 weeks. So extend by 2 more weeks. So in total 6 weeks, we expect an answer. So we ideally expect 2 reviewers to revert back to us, and then the reviewers evaluate the article, they share their findings, and the editor comes out with a summary, and with the summary they will say, okay, whether the article is rejected or accepted, or put it in revise and resubmit mode. So this is very important again, because accept means okay, bingo, so you are there, your article will be published in the upcoming issues. Secondly, revise. Revise is very common. We don't have to really worry if we hear revise and resubmit grouped paper. And finally, reject. Yes, the article does not meet the requirements. The article has is not good for publishing, or say may not be that qualitative. There may be many reasons as well, which will be communicated to the author. So this process actually takes 3 months, but maximum 3 months, I would say. Sometimes it's like 1.5 months, 2 months, but maximum. But I also have to tell you, an author is one who starts writing the paper. So we cannot call if Rashmi writes a paper, and if Rashmi comes to me asking, okay, can I get an article, access to an article? Can I read that article? Or else, if she comes to me saying that, okay, can you refer me some 5 articles? I will send it to her. She writes a paper. I cannot ask Rashmi to make me as a co-author. That's very important. So that's something which is unethical. So because all these people can be part of the acknowledgement section. Author is the one who has provided significant intellectual contribution for the paper. He has had written the paper from the start, from the scratch, and has been reviewing it all the times. And he's the person who is also reviewing the final version, the submitted version of the article. Next slide. Okay. Any questions, Rashmi, till now?
No, sir. Actually, we are going to conduct a question and answer session after the talk is done. Then we'll take all the questions here.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So you can see here, this is the main important aspect which even Rashmi was like, okay, was interested to know why, what is that the editors and the reviewers looking for? Obviously, the first thing is because everybody comes to a journal to read an article. To read an article which is published in their area of interest. Means every journal will have their own aims and scope. So within that aims and scope, if the article is not there, probably that article is not a good entry to this particular journal. So the most important thing is we look at the scope of the article. Is this article within the scope? Say, for example, you cannot send an article written on brain to an article which talks about power and energy, unless they are like somewhere interdisciplinary. We also expect the reviewers look for original material, which is distinguished from the previous version, which is brand new, which is novel, which is new, and also it should be addressing a new and an important problem. Obviously, yes, it can extend previously published work. For example, if you have written a conference, if you submitted present the paper in a conference and would like to take this forward and make it a journal paper, yes, of course, that is very much welcome. But again, important thing is that what is that value add you have done in that particular paper? Use valid methods and clear rationale, and also they look at whether the authors have included the graphs, tables, etc., and also cites the references that are current and relevant to subject. Because now we have seen many authors, many times they're not good at this, because it's very important for any authors to look at the latest developments and they go through the papers. So, for example, access to IEEE papers, etc. So at this point, of course, we're talking with the principal, sir, to have access to IEEE papers for all of you, faculty and the students and IEEE members. But you need to really have gone through, because then you'll get to know what is the development. We don't have to reinvent the same thing over there. Next slide. Okay, here's an example. I would like to take a pause for a minute. Before I give that pause for 1 minute, I really want you to look at the underlined material here. This underlined material is the comments passed by the reviewer after reviewing the paper. So here's an example wherein reviewer says this article is good, but it can be accepted. There is still something which has to be improved. What is that? It has to be improved. The reviewer has written a paragraph and highlighted those aspects wherein the review revision is required. And the second part, there is a response is from the author. So after making the necessary changes in the paper, the author writes this. So I'd like to take a pause for 1 minute. Then till then, I want all of you to just go through the reviewer comments and also the response. Similarly, next slide. Great. Here, if you can see, for the same paper, the reviewer, a different reviewer comes with different changes. That's why at IEEE, we really want 2 reviewers, minimum 2 reviewers to look at the paper and provide their comments. So again, all the reviewers are there to improvise the article. So nobody is there to reject the article here. And you can see the underlined comments, and also we can also see the responses here. So one of the comments is like, there should be a drastic improvement in the introduction and conclusion that clarifies scope, purpose, and practical import of the analysis. So the reviewer felt that these are some things which are actually missing in the article. This has to be revised. Next slide. Great. Okay, writing your paper. So writing your paper, elements of manuscript, this is the anatomy of the article. I believe all of you have read several articles till now. Okay, if not 1 or 2, if not many, at least some of them. And if you notice the flow, this is exactly almost similar flow. Every article will have to begin with a title, the author's abstract, summary of the article, introduction, approach, results, discussion, conclusion, acknowledgements, and the references. Why this part is part of this program, or if part of this presentation, is to help you understand the importance of effectively writing these elements. Because at the end of the day, there are 2 aspects why we write. One is to share what we have done with the world. Secondly, we want people to utilize the research we have carried out. Okay. So to research you have carried out, because if you come to IEEE Explore Digital Library, there are more than 50 lakh articles. In fact, if I talk about IoT, if I just type Internet of Things, there are like 1 lakh articles. And if you start with keywords, you may get like 50 or 60 articles. If your article is within the 60 or 50, if you want your article to be read by the users, very importantly, you need to come out with a nicer title. Okay, so that is because that is the entry point for your article. You need to come out with a nicer abstract. In fact, I have actually seen many authors coming out with like taking a lot of time in writing a title, writing an abstract, etc. So this actually plays a very important role. Next slide. Right. An effective title is one which, so anybody who goes to the article, the first entry point to the article is the title of the article. Okay. By looking at the title, we can see, okay, whether this is a good or this will help me or not. Is this article relevant to me or not? So you need to really ensure, look at some of the best examples or look at some of the nicer articles and where the authors have really communicated clearly the things about the article in just 1 or 1.5 liner. That's it. It should be short, crisp and concise. It should not be too long at all. And here's an example of a good and a bad title. So you can see the good title exactly to the point explains, but the bad title is something which leaves you nowhere. So this is very important as well. Next slide. Abstract summary. Many times, especially we have seen in IEEE that the beginners actually confuse this with the conclusion. So please do not, because conclusion is different, abstract is different. So abstract, it actually covers the significance. It is normally like 150 to 250 words. It actually uses the keywords and index terms. It actually covers the whole article in a nutshell within like 150 to 250 words. So you should be like, first of all, you should be reading a lot. By that, you will get some kind of a grip, and slowly you should start writing the abstract of the article. So maybe I would suggest you can show it to your colleagues or say classmates to see whether this makes sense or not, or maybe ask them to improvise the abstract out there. This actually is very important because this will determine that whether the user should go forward and read the complete article or not. So if at all, if you want the reader to really read your article, make the abstract. Of course, your article is really good, but how to invite people to read your article is also very important. So this is actually very important as well. Next slide. Here's an example of an abstract. You can see here the author has come out with a nicer title, just taking a recent example. And you can see here, everything he has explained clearly. That's why we encourage all of you to read, and read. By reading, you'll really get a lot of understanding about the flow of the article, what is there, what is not there, and how to beautify it, etc. Next slide. Again, introduction is the beginning part, the first part of the article, wherein what was the motivation for writing this article. It is sometimes covered like 1 to 1.5 pages. So in the beginning, you need to let the readers know some of the general information about the topic. You need to highlight some of the prior studies, that is the review of the literature review, what you've carried out and what is that your findings, and then an overview of the work, and also what are the results and conclusions, and then how the article is organized, like what are the next steps, like methodology, results, etc. So if you have any organization, that is something which have to be mentioned here. Next slide. Here's an aspect methodology. If you have a problem, you need to come out with some method to solve it. So that is within the methodology aspect, wherein you need to share the methods which you have used to carry out to solve the problem. So of course, please utilize the illustrations, come out with a lot of illustrations, figures, diagrams, charts to make it easy for people to understand. Next slide. So here is an example of methodology wherein the authors here, so they've actually added the solution architecture, they're given the surveillance response system, how it works, and also the administrative departments, web portals, all the support systems available over there. So also provide the dashboard alerts, heat map, etc. So this impact, it actually gives you a better understanding about how the problem has been solved here. Next slide. Results and discussion. Okay, once you're done with the methodology aspects, you have the results which are in front of you. So once you resolve it, you have the results in front of you, which actually gives summarized data. It interprets the results. So the discussion is like where you have to interpret the results over there. So what it actually leads to, if you receive a result, if you get to know a result, you need to come out with a proper interpretation. Why that interpretation? What is that actually tells you? What is that trying to communicate you? So that is very important. That actually comes by art of reading, and also slowly you will start developing that particular skill. And also here results, you need to ensure you need to highlight some of the shortcomings, I would say the limitations of the paper, just in case if is there anything, so that the user is aware of all those things. Next slide. Conclusion. What the research has achieved. Okay, you have the results now. You have the complete understanding. You have the final results, and now you have the conclusion where you need to highlight what is that the research has achieved. You need to go back to the introduction part and look at what are the questions posed in the beginning of the article. And then are these questions answered at the end of the article? So this is something which is very meaningful here. Also, very importantly, here is a place where you need to even suggest future areas of research. So what are the forthcoming areas of research? And because while you carrying out research, there are many aspects which people have not explored. So these unexplored areas are something which has to be highlighted within the article itself. So again, it's not a repeat of the abstract. Next slide. Okay, here's the conclusion, how the conclusion is written. So this way, before you write, look at the conclusion, look at the abstract, look at the methodology, how it has been. It's not that you need to copy it, but look at several articles which are in your own area of interest. So first of all, that will be easy for you to understand because you're a subject matter expert. You have a good hold of subject. And secondly, you can actually get to understand the flow itself. Next slide. References. If I talk to HOD sir or say principal sir or good old faculty members like who have like more than 20 years experience, writing the references to an article, because when we write an article, we refer a lot. We refer a lot of articles. When you have to come out with a list of references, it was not an easy job earlier. So people used to spend many hours in getting it done. But now, thanks to the bibliographic management softwares, it's much more easier. So now we have the luxury of using Mendeley, Zotero, and many other softwares, which will actually within no time list of references. Interest, attribution, plagiarism, author contribution, conflict of interest. If the author is again part of the editorial team, so there may be some kind of an advantage. Okay? So they should, if there is any financial or some people may try and prove something or disprove something, and which may get over and get published. So this is the worry there. So, and also there are a lot of other things like somebody trying to prove something else and some financial benefits or something. So again becomes a conflict of interest. That is something which is one of the misconceptions. Attribution, very important. We need to really attribute to the source of the article. If you've used an equation, or if you used a methodology, or if you used an image, etc., or maybe a phrase, or even couple of lines from an article. So if you've used it, it's very important to attribute to the original author. Plagiarism, I believe by this time, at least the MTech students are aware of plagiarism. It's not at all good. So we have seen people going for paraphrasing and rewriting in a different manner, but that doesn't lead at the end of the day, the meaning remains the same. Even though you try copy something, the original author has to be attributed to it. So has to be cited. If it is not, means that is your own lines, which is actually false. So very important for you to take care of all these aspects. Author contributions, as I was telling that if Rashmi writes a paper and I give her some advice, okay, why not you do this? I cannot ask her to make me as a co-author. So we have author contributions wherein we can actually make it part of the thanking section or the acknowledgement section. Next slide. Next slide. Just this. Okay. And before there are duplicate submission, but stay here, please. I'll just go through. Duplicate submissions. We have seen in the past that at IEEE also that people tend to send the same article to different journals. Okay, so because they're in a hurry in getting the paper published, and it's very difficult for them to wait and hear from the other journal whether the article is accepted or rejected or revised. So what they do is, like a post office, they send their article to multiple journals, duplicate submissions. This is not good at all. This is against the ethics, because the the reviewers, editors are all volunteers, and a lot of time and energy is spent from the staff also, because they are involved in reviewing your paper. But if you send the same paper at the same time simultaneously to any other journal, again a similar amount of time and energy, and again the volunteer staff is very important to us. So you don't have to do that if you are in a hurry of getting a paper, and if there is some kind of a delay, you can just request the paper to be withdrawn, and then you can send it to other journals. Again, there is one question which I'm just recollecting now, like uh, is Web of Science, Scopus, do the index IEEE journals? I would say not all of them, because at this point, not all of them, because as you may be aware, IEEE every year comes out with new journals. We released like 4 journals in 2019, 20 journals in 2020. This year we released, I think, 3, and next year we're planning to release like 2. So for any new journal to make it to Web of Science or Scopus, that should have completed at least 2 years, or say 2 to 3 years, depends on the policy over there. And that's why you may not find all, but I would say that almost all the journals which are at least 2 to 3 years old are part of the Web of Science and the Scopus. So when you choose a journal, you can also be sure. Again, by the way, Web of Science and Scopus comes out has published the list of journals they index in their website, which is publicly available. So you can also go and look at there. Shorting work, conference to journal paper, as I mentioned in the past, like if you have written a journal conference paper and would like to add something new to the journal paper, then that is very much doable. I just tried to highlight which are the things which are the things which have improvised, what are the elements, and then make it a nice paper and put a covering letter so that the editorial committee is aware that your paper is part of your previous paper, which is like published. Next slide. Authorship acknowledgement, very important. We need to acknowledge all the authors, if it's 2 or 1, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 10, everybody share the responses and for any ethical violations. Next slide. Next slide. And like one slide to share with all of you that IEEE is very much into open science. We support the open science and the reproducible research. At this point, we have like 26 open access journals. We're also making the codes available to the users, to the readers. So if at all, if there is any author who has used an algorithm in his paper, we request the author to load that to CodeOcean and provide a linking within the IEEE paper. We're also asking people to submit their huge data set files, which will be part of the data port. And again, now if you would like to claim that you are the first owner of this idea, before even getting it peer reviewed, you can post your draft article, which is sent to IEEE journal, and it's a conference to be part of the Tech Archive. So Tech Archive stores all the articles which are not reviewed but submitted to the journal. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. I'll just go a bit fast here. Next slide. Okay, there are some links which I've given. Rashmi has this slide deck. I'll request Rashmi to share all of this after this, but I would like to go to the next slide. 2 more slides. Next, one more. Great. Yeah, please stay here. Thank you, Rashmi. Okay, so IEEE Author Center is a one-stop shop for all of your queries on publishing, whether it is choosing the right article, whether it is viewing the videos, whether it is to seeking help if you're a new P or new journal, or whether you would like to go through the newsletter of IEEE, or whether you have to get some support in the LaTeX analyzer, or say analysis of the LaTeX files or PDF checker, etc. IEEE has a dedicated free publishing website, publishing support website that is called as the IEEE Author Center, which touches upon various aspects here. Next slide. Video tutorials. There are 60 video tutorials. One of them actually is talking about what is how to write a title and an abstract. Like one of them is talking about bibliometrics. One of them is talking about the ethics part. So please go through these short tutorials. That will definitely help all of you. Next slide. You can just fast pace. The next 5, we can just move. Here is template selector. Next. Publication recommender. So you can just type big data, and the top 5 or top 10 journals which are talking about big data will be displayed, and you can actually choose an appropriate journal to submit your paper. So this is publication recommender, which is part of the IEEE Author Center. Next slide. Okay. If you have the LaTeX analyzer, if you would like to speed up the process of publishing, here is the LaTeX files. Next slide. Reference preparation assistant. If you want some kind of assistance in the preparation of references, you can actually log in and we'll provide you necessary assistance. Next slide. PDF checker. Okay, once you're done with your PDF, whether it is compatible or not with Explore, we'll be checking it. So that is something free of cost, the service provided by IEEE. So please utilize these things. Next slide. Author Lab in IEEE Collaboratech. IEEE Collaboratech, I believe most of your members. Please do sign up. If you're even not a member also, you can sign up for a free IEEE account. Free IEEE account to access IEEE Collaboratech, which is kind of a professional networking platform. So there's a community called the Author Lab. You can join this community and you can ask questions, you can share your thoughts, etc. So please join. There are almost more than 14,000 people in this community. And also the IEEE staff members are also part of this community, so that if you have any questions unanswered by any other participant, the member of this group will be happy to help you. Next slide. Here's the newsletter. I request all of you to sign up for this, authors@IEEE.org. This is a bi-monthly newsletter. Next slide. I think that comes to the end of this presentation. Here is my email ID. If you have any questions on authoring, you just have to send it authors@IEEE.org. And again, here is the Author Center website. So please feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to assist you. And again, we can talk more once your college has the IEEE publications access, journals, conferences. There's the IEEE Expo access. I'll be happy to come down even to present in front of you how IEEE Explore helps you in this search. With that, I would like to pass it back to Rashmi. Over to you, Rashmi, for questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Krishna, please go ahead.
At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark of another person. For us, that person is our speaker, Dr. Dhanukumar Pattanshetti, sir. Now, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude on behalf of SKNISB for inspiring our young minds and also for enlightening us with your valuable guidance. Thank you so much, sir. Now let us proceed with the question and answer session. If you have any queries or doubts regarding today's session, please unmute and ask right away, or you can type them in the chat box below.
Please raise your hands to ask any questions, then we'll give you the permission to unmute, or you can just put them in the chat box.
I think we have a question from one of them.
Yeah, good morning, sir. I'm Anuradha.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I okay? Okay,
yes,
sir. It was yeah, sir. It was very excellent session. In fact, lot many things I learned today. So I have just one question, so for you. Are there a list of Web of Science journals or Scopus Index journals under IEEE? Because see, researchers can wait for some 5-6 months long for getting their first response, but students may not have that much time because of their academic schedule, and even students are like not that much patient. So can we get such a list so that we can share with our students?
Sure, ma'am. Yeah, do anything, ma'am. What I will do is I will share the list with Rashmi, both Web of Science and Scopus. which will actually give you the list of IEEE journals which are indexed in this in their databases.
Okay, so considering obviously from students' point of view, the acceptance rate and also the fast publishing also. So that way, if you could help us.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. See what again, as I told you, it's not that IEEE wants to reject everything. We really want to accept all the 100 papers which are submitted to IEEE, 100 like all the 100 papers which are submitted to us. But again, as I was briefing you that there are a lot of things which will go missing in an article somehow, and that's why the reason of organize these sessions is towards that, to ensure that we have a better acceptance rate.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. And also, I have missed that slides where we can connect to the community of IEEE authors.
IEEE Collaborate, ma'am. Yeah, you will receive the slide deck from Rashmi.
Sure. Okay. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I think we have another question here in the chat box by Atharva Somani. He is asking, is there any plagiarism software for free for students?
Excellent question. I think I would request free. See, again, it's not about actually free because many times free tools per se do not provide you the proper what you call the similarity check, okay, the similarity percentage. So just check with your library once. The librarian probably they may have some idea, because libraries normally subscribe to the anti-plagiarism software. So library is a first step to begin. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think we have another person who is raising his hand. 1105 TCS, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
So, sir, while writing abstract, keywords and index terms, shall we keep it concise, or can we make it more elaborative and include more of their terms in the keyword section?
Keep it concise. Yeah, the keep it concise. You're talking about abstract section or the keyword section?
A keyword section, to be specific.
Keyword section. Keyword section. Don't make it elaborative. Keep it like normally 5 to 7 is ideal. So choose the best out of the lot. If you come out with like 15 or 18 or 20 keywords, within that choose the best 5 or maximum 7. Don't make it more than 7. So this is an ideal lot.
Okay, sir. And I want to ask again, as of students, now we are learning to write research papers and all. How should we divide our work when we are working with multiple authors, and how can we keep our thoughts organized to approach the research?
Communicating regularly is the only thing I would suggest. Even I was actually part of this earlier. The best thing which me and my co-authors were doing is meet virtually, meet face-to-face time. So that actually clears a lot, because somebody just don't go deeper without asking a co-author, because that may not lead to any space. So we used to break the work, and we used to, once the work is done, we need to come and compare the results and then choose the next step. So the best thing is to be in touch with everybody.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. And lastly, I would like to ask again, while considering our references, so we know that internet is full of things, and most of them are either copied or fake. So how can we cope up with that situation where we encounter some fake kind of references or something?
Fake kind of references, I don't really see. I don't know. It all depends, right? So now I'm not sure if you are already aware of the open access spaces. So many journals are claiming to be open access, but again, the fake, I would say, fake are those articles, I would say, predatory journals. Which predatory journals is, they take money to get the paper published, but the article is not thoroughly reviewed. So that's why you can just rely on the what you call the papers published in the reputed publishers, and I would say the references would be or the articles published here would not at all be fake.
Okay, thank you, sir. It was a great session.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Thank you. We have another question in the chat box by Anuradha Yenkikar. So she is asking, are there any upcoming call for papers under COVID-19 research?
So I would suggest go to the IEEE conferences space and just say COVID, the upcoming conference, and then look at the upcoming. So some of our conferences, we are also asking people to submit papers on the latest research on COVID-19. So go to the IEEE conferences page and click on upcoming conferences and type in the keyword.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir. Does anybody have any more questions? Please raise your hands. Otherwise, we'll conclude. Okay, in the chat box. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. If anybody has any further questions, please raise your hand or just put it in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll conclude the question and answer session. All right. I don't think there are any further questions. So, Krishna, please take over. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rashmi. I would like to call our chair of SKNISB, Rashmi Ingre, to conclude the webinar with vote of thanks. Over to you, Rashmi.
Thank you so much, Krishna. First of all, I would like to give a special thanks to our today's honorable guest for being here and for imparting your immense knowledge on basics of writing a research paper and guiding your young minds further into the world of research. And I would like to thank our honorable HOD sir, Dr. K.N. Honvarkar, for his constant guidance and support throughout it all. I would also like to thank our faculty coordinator, Professor R.V. Tagde sir, for guiding us and making this webinar a success. I would also like to thank our incredible SKNISB team for contributing and helping in organizing this webinar. Most of all, I would like to thank all of you participants for being here with us today on this wonderful journey of learning how to more about research. So thank you all, and over to you, Krishna.
Thank you, Rashmi, and that brings us to the end. I'd like to thank you all for joining this webinar. It was a pleasure to have you all with us. Please fill the feedback form given in the chat box before leaving the session. And after filling the form, you may leave.
If possible, can we all just turn on our cameras and take a group picture? So I would like to request you to please turn on your camera, and HOD sir or Rahul Dagde sir, please can you kindly turn on your cameras as well, and all the SKNISB members. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, sir, for being here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rashmi and team. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir. Bye. Yeah, we'll just send the feedback form in the chat box below and everybody can fill it. Yeah, definitely. Just one sec. Everybody can fill this feedback form, all the participants. please fill the feedback form and then please kindly exit the meeting. Thank you all.